Not all chains are made of iron. Some are made of numbers, signatures, and promises written on paper. Across Africa, entire families, even entire nations, are shackled by debt. Debt that never ends, debt that feeds on poverty, and debt that ensures freedom always feels just out of reach. In many African countries, household debt is not a choice. It is survival. When school fees come due, when illness strikes, when crops fail, families turn to lenders. Some borrow from banks with interest rates so high they guarantee failure. Others turn to loan sharks when missing a payment means losing land, dignity, or even safety. On a national scale, the story is no different. African nations collectively owe hundreds of billions of dollars to foreign creditors. Much of it is tied to unfair contracts, bloated interest rates, and loans made decades ago. Loans whose original sums have long been repaid, but whose interest chains entire generations to the past. Behind every statistic is a face. A mother who borrowed to buy seed for her small shop, only to watch prices rise and profits vanish. A farmer who took out a loan for fertilizer, but drought killed his harvest. A young graduate who borrowed for education, only to graduate into unemployment. In many, debt is not a bridge to opportunity. It is a trap. A system where money flows upward to the rich, while the poor sink deeper into circles of poverty. Debt collectors do not just take property, they take hope. The injustice is not accidental. For decades, wealthy nations and institutions have lent money under conditions that strip away African sovereignty. In exchange for debt relief, countries are forced to cut public services. Hospitals close, schools collapse, water becomes privatized. The debt is paid, but the people pay the price. This is the weight of debt, not only numbers on a page, but lives haunted, dreams deferred, futures stolen. And yet, across the continent, people fight back. Communities build savings groups, lifting one another when formal banks turn their backs. Activists demand fair lending and debt cancellation. Movements like Drop the Debt remind the world that dignity cannot be measured in dollars. Small victories happen every day. A family clearing their last payment. A village celebrating clean water after pulling funds. These sparks of resilience reminds us that people are not defined by the chains they carry, but by their refusal to surrender. Debt should be a tool for growth, not a weapon for oppression. Families should not choose between feeding their children and paying a loan. Nations should not sacrifice schools and hospitals to satisfy creditors. The world must decide, do we continue to profit from Africans' pain, or do we break the shackles of debt and allow true freedom to flourish?